Hey everybody, this is the Aggressively Medium podcast with Lee and Josh.
Speaking of two, this is episode 52.
Yep, episode 52. It's been a year. Do you remember? Do you know what the channel was 52 when you were growing up? This is a new thing that
Your like childhood.
when
Peyton
you're
doesn't listen to the show at all.
Yeah, I know.
52.
I told you I'm probably not going to know
Speed.
until like
Ours
the
is
60s
Speed
again.
Network.
Speed?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't have Speed.
Where it was like the racing, like NASCAR and all that stuff.
The last one I remembered was Channel 50, and I don't think
Well,
I
I think
know anything.
62 is MTV.
Ours were 48 and 49, MTV and MTV2.
I
No,
think ours was 61, 62.
Dang, y'all had MTV too.
Or Comedy Central was 60.
64 was 45 was Comedy Central for us.
So 52 was.
I'm not going to know anything until
We don't know.
64.
Yeah, the 50s.
63, which was
Yeah.
Discovery.
Yeah,
That's all I
nobody.
got.
Yeah, didn't watch anything in the 50s.
No.
Well, it's our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
We've been on the air
Dang.
for 1 whole year.
Wow.
And we figured we'd bring back our good buddy Peyton Gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
good to
on, I
have you
think,
here.
literally to the week a year ago.
It was
Almost to the. It was
Yeah.
either this week or next week. It had been exactly a
It
year.
would have had to have been next week, right?
It wasn't
Because you
long.
weren't our first guest.
Yeah, but we also recorded.
We've had some off weeks.
We
and shot
recorded a
twice.
few before we
This
released
is for
them.
next week. Technically, this is a
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. We're Saturday.
We're going back to back. Me and Josh did this 2 days ago.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Two
you're,
in a
you're
row.
right. Yeah, you're right. Actually,
So
it's not. It would
pardon
have
our lack of stuff to talk about, but we did this 2 days ago.
been like April.
Right.
Because
It
we
would have had
couldn't
to have been.
film for some of the podcast because of COVID.
Well, we started the podcast after COVID started.
No, we filmed 2 before
Yeah,
COVID
yeah.
restrictions, and then we didn't release them until me and you could get back together
Oh, that's right.
and film
we bunched
again.
them.
Yeah,
The day
It's an industry term.
The day I came
Is it?
here to do that podcast is I got furloughed like
Oh,
30
yeah.
like 30 minutes before I came over here.
just a
Dang.
good,
Great news.
just a good way. Yeah, good
Yeah.
way to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of fired.
Yeah.
Good thing we've gotten all this figured out by now. It's been a year.
Yeah,
We've
happy
got-
anniversary to 2 weeks to
Of filming.
curb the
yeah,
Yeah.
flatten
the
the curve.
spread. Yeah.
Episode 52.
Yeah.
Which there's 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah.
It's like a year.
Speaking of episode 52, I was thinking about this week. Y'all watch Star Wars, right? You've seen some Star Wars before.
I know about
Barely.
Okay.
it. I know what it is.
So in the first 3 movies, Luke Skywalker.
Do you mean 4, 5, and 6 or 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6.
So the 4th, 5th,
4,
and
5, and
6th.
6. But the first 3 that were ever filmed.
Okay.
Luke Skywalker can literally move things with his hands because of the Force and like guide lasers out of his spacecraft to shoot into another big satellite looking thing. But the Force never told him that it was his sister and he shouldn't kiss her.
That's true.
That was just an interesting thing. I mean, that seems like a big plot hole to
Yeah.
me.
I mean, that's a completely different power though.
It shouldn't be that much.
That's like, I mean, that's
He can make himself appear on another planet.
yeah, but,
But-
he never said he could mind read or tell the path
Yeah.
or look into the past.
I feel like
or
there's
anything
just
like that.
something there
Yeah.
that should have keyed you
I know
in.
we're watching it as a show, and so we like can see stuff coming ahead.
Yeah.
But he's important. She's very important. Oh, I guess he didn't know he had a sister because she was taken at birth or whatever.
Yeah.
So they
That's
never.
true.
But
They
like
didn't know.
you had a sister that was the same age as you,
And
and you
she's-
haven't seen her in 15 years, and now this really important girl, and you're a really important guy.
Yeah.
She probably your sister.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean,
Star Wars is dumb anyway. So,
I enjoy Star Wars.
dude,
That's all I wanted to talk
last
about
week
with that. But
or
like,
2 days ago, we were talking about the stuff I didn't like in WandaVision, the show
yeah.
that's out, and he would have talked about comic books for the rest of the day.
probably so. Man, I read a lot of comic books growing up.
He said, and I
Never.
said like I was too busy doing stuff with people outside.
Yeah.
He's like, I would do that too, and then I'd go sit in my room alone and read comic books.
At night, when you couldn't play outside no more.
But then you also played a buttload of video games, and you played a trombone, and
I
like,
didn't play a ton of video games until like later on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of comic books. Did you ever read comic books? Like straight up comic books?
Not
No, I never even
one.
had one.
Me either.
Really? I can let
Yeah.
you borrow a couple.
I'm good. Yeah. It might be a generation gap still, but
Generation.
I haven't done an old joke in a while.
Friends read
You're
comic
an
books.
idiot.
I never knew anybody with a comic book.
Also, there wasn't a ton of
Did
people
you do
that lived around
superheroes
us.
growing up? Yeah, you lived in the woods.
Yeah, for a little while.
Did you do superheroes as a kid?
What do you mean? I mean,
Like
did you-
watching the TV shows.
that, or have action
Yeah.
figures, or like care about them?
Power
not
Rangers.
that much.
I
I
didn't
mean,
either.
Power Rangers, but not
Power Rangers.
I had Power Ranger magnets on our fridge that I would fight with, and then like they'd get punched or hit, and they'd throw
Yeah.
against the thing and stick.
Yeah.
I remember that.
No,
Yeah.
I was yeah. I mean, Batman. I had the Batman video game.
Yeah, but like you
But I
see
mean-
kids now that we're
Right, and they dress up with them
They-
as they go out.
yeah, they'll like walk around. Yeah, he's anal about that mic.
We got to hear them talking.
I've learned you
Yeah.
got to keep it right at your lips without
Yeah.
touching them. It like tickles your mustache.
But I have watched the podcast where you get on and you get on to Lee about it and you can hear him fine before he moves it.
I'm glad somebody finally
Just
brought
because
that
I
up.
fix it
No,
in
no,
post.
before. Well, you can
It's-
always fix it.
I don't want to fix it in post. I want it to be
But
seamless.
like, hey,
I
fix
work
your
too
mic
much.
as it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
Me talk. Yeah, that's what I figured. I just didn't ever bring it up
No.
Yes.
because he gets real saucy about the sound. He's turning me off.
Turning myself down. I can see my levels
But
are
yeah.
higher than everybody else's.
Yeah,
Now they're way low.
I think mine.
yeah. You just fouled yours up.
Jeez.
Go back down there. But yeah, I didn't really care. I used to watch a show called The Gargoyles, which was
Oh,
wild.
yeah. I remember Gargoyles.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Gargoyles.
Yeah. And
Gargoyles
like
was good.
and even I remember Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ho. That's what they
Did we talk about SWAT cats before?
Yes, and nobody has ever heard of SWAT cats except
Yeah.
you.
I love
Yeah, I
SWAT
know.
cats.
I even tried to Google it and it like wasn't on the internet.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
SWAT cats. There are
you
like
can
3
Google SWAT
episodes
cats.
on PBS.
It was a Cartoon Network. SWAT
But-
cats. They were like 2 trash men that were cats, and the whole city was cats.
Did you ever watch Street Sharks?
Yeah.
I remember it, but I didn't
Yeah.
watch it.
Street Sharks. I could dive through the concrete.
Speaking of sharks.
Now that's real cool.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of sharks, I know a shark could
You know
outswim
one?
me.
Oh.
I know a shark could outswim me, but I could run faster than a shark for sure.
On land?
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
we're in a triathlon, it's coming down to the biking.
That was on something. I saw it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you showed it's coming down to a bike
Yeah,
race.
it's coming down to
Yeah.
biking.
Did you
Yeah.
say there were 2 great whites that they like have trackers on that were in the Gulf of Mexico?
Trump's in Gulf of Mexico?
Trump.
Yeah.
2 sharks that were
Oh,
tracked?
shark. Great. I just heard great white.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, they're always there.
Granted, if we're really going to get down to it, bull sharks kill way more people than gray whites do, and they're
Yes.
all over
That's true. But
bulls and tigers.
still don't want to see one.
No, good grief.
It was like, what, an 8 foot and then like
It was like 11 foot.
an 11 foot.
They're little.
What?
Those are like high school sharks. They get like 20 feet long.
Yeah.
Can.
Jeez.
So an 8-foot one's like an adolescent.
We talked about that. I've seen a shark attack before.
Yeah,
right?
you saw the girl die.
Yeah.
And you talked to her the night before.
Yeah.
Like
You
out
hadn't
on the
heard
beach.
this?
You never listened to our
think so.
podcast. It was our beach special
Oh yeah.
where we told stories
Yeah.
back and forth. And we were talking about we went to Griff's wedding. Ha ha ha. We all went down there and acted a fool. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I watched a girl die on the beach. She got bit by a shark.
I mean,
What beach?
it was Sandestin.
Freaking distant.
Yep, Sandestin.
That is tough.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
a damper on the old vacation.
He said he walked up and she was white as a sheet. All her blood was
Yeah.
gone.
They plopped her
She
down.
looked like
and you
chicken,
could
like raw chicken.
her leg looked like raw. It bit her whole leg off.
Her body looked like raw chicken. Like
Yeah.
that
So she
pink.
just bled out through her
She
leg.
bled out in the water. Yeah. And then 2 guys like went out to go get. One guy was on a surfboard. He like went over and like.
I don't know if I asked you about it. Did you get in the water after that?
Not on that trip. No.
Yeah. I think we
I've been
talked
in the
about
water.
it. We
I've
did-
been in the water since then, but don't go like far
We didn't talk about it
unless I'm surfing.
because we did all this when we went to the beach, and then like a month later we went to the beach with Anna's family, and we swam out to the sandbar.
No.
But it got like you couldn't touch the bottom
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
a section, and I don't ever get like
Freaked out.
anxiety or anything.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I was we had the baby. Or no, I didn't take the baby out that far. But it was like me and Anna and her sister and her mom. And I was like, okay, I'm a grown man. I'll go to the sandbar. But once I couldn't bob and I was actually swimming, it was the most freaked out I'd been in a long time.
Yeah.
And I touched that sandbar and Michael Phelps'd it back.
There's no need to be out
Michael
there that
Phelps'd
far.
it back. I would like to see how fast you Michael Phelps.
As fast as him.
Yeah.
I had motivation. It was high anxiety.
Yeah.
And
We've done that.
We
It was
did.
like a
Brandon
senior
Cater
year.
almost died.
Yeah, senior year of high school. And when you're
Went
on
to
your
church
balcony
camp.
at the beach, it looks like there's a second sandbar.
But it's
This
really
did-
just like an island.
And it's literally
out in the
like,
ocean.
it might be a sandbar, but it's still 10 feet deep.
Right.
And so you get out there and you're like, okay, I can't stand up
Yeah.
out here.
This one was back down to your knees. The
Yeah.
one we went to.
Yeah, the
But it was
sandbar.
that trench in between.
Yeah.
No.
No bueno.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Dude. Yeah. What's the ocean got?
Not without a flotation device.
Sand, salt water, jellyfish.
Also, I was thinking about this recently. Like getting on a boat and just going offshore,
Nah.
like where I can't see land anymore. I have no desire to do that.
That doesn't, like going deep sea fishing or
Yeah.
something, you usually can still see the land.
But if you like, I mean, but there are people that
Go out.
yeah.
I went a little over a year ago, and we went where you couldn't see the land, and I was just so sick the whole time.
Oh, yeah. The only time
just 6 hours straight,
Ugh.
just like I'm gonna die.
the
out here.
only time I've ever been deep sea fishing, I got sick, took Dramamine, and slept the entire time on a chair.
I don't even like being on a
sick.
cruise ship and not being able to see land.
That's different though.
Not, I just don't. I mean, it's not fun.
you
not seeing
rarely
land.
see land.
I know, but it's
on a
not
cruise
fun
ship.
not seeing land. I don't
You
know where
remember
we're
when
at.
Pat went stir crazy?
Yeah, cabin fever.
He got cabin fever.
Really?
Legitimately got cabin fever.
Strapped on that boat for too long.
You dang right. Oh,
Yeah.
it was a good thing.
Talk about stir crazy.
Yeah.
What about Panda Express?
Dude. Do you like panda?
I love Panda Express.
Do you eat panda?
Orange chicken?
That's all right.
Their orange chicken.
Their orange chicken, it's a little hot. I know you were going to shrug your shoulders. It's not as hot as Buffalo Wild Wings a honey barbecue, but it's the flakes in the orange chicken. They're hot. And I like their chow mein better than the rice. The noodles.
I get white rice every time I go there.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, this is not that one. Hold on.
Good segue.
Yeah, real clean. Here we go. All right. So if you like panda, let's see if you like it after this. This is from the Washington Post, so it's not from like the Demopolis Times or something.
Yeah.
Panda Express staff forced to strip at team building seminar that seemed like a cult initiation ritual, lawsuit says. I can read this really fast. The Panda Express cashier had already been forced to strip to her underwear in front of her fellow staff during a self-improvement seminar in 2019. And she was told to open up to the group about her vulnerabilities. But when a male colleague broke down crying while trying to do the same, the session's leader ordered her to go one step further and hug it out with the guy, both in their underpants. It's in California. Some Panda Express in California.
Nice.
Los Angeles County. That was just part of a bizarre, psychologically abusive 4-day seminar that had more and more resembled a cult initiation ritual as time went on.
I think as a person, you got to draw a line.
Yeah,
When you work at basically a fast food restaurant, they go, okay, I want you in your underwear. You go, I'm going to
And
hard
later,
pass.
she keeps
on
talking
stripping down
about
my
it.
underwear.
It was like off the clock, voluntary 4-day seminar.
So she wanted to do it.
No, she sued Panda Express, so she didn't want to do it that bad. But
Strip down naked and hug it out.
of course, Panda Express said we don't know what you're talking about.
Of course.
So it might be the manager.
Yeah.
We don't
That
condone
reminds
this
me of
kind of
like the-
behavior. Of course not.
People, I mean,
That reminds me of that Undercover Boss episode where it was Hooters and the guy was like making the girls like do really crazy stuff the whole time to like get off shift. Like if they didn't have a bunch of customers and people got to go home early, it was like who can shake their butts the best or something to like get off. It's like, what the heck? How does that fly? I don't know.
So this is how they got the girl. The cashier whom the Post is not naming.
That was a serious,
Do you remember the Hooters that we went to in high school at the beach? Do you remember that?
Yes. And you squirted the ketchup.
She was a bad waitress.
Oh, you talked about that before.
We didn't do anything. I squirted a bunch of ketchup in the menu
And closed it.
and we left her like 13 cents as
Or
a
we
tip.
shorted her. I
And
think.
she came out the parking lot as we were driving off. Yeah. She's a big gal.
That's crazy that somebody would make somebody else strip
Well, listen,
down.
the cashier is suing for alleged sexual assault. It says was less than 3 years into her job at the Panda Express.
Well, that's a long time too.
Yeah, for
You're probably one of the
fast
more
food.
senior people at Panda Express. And if it was a voluntary thing. It's not like a.
So less than 3 years into her job at Panda Express, when she learned about the training seminar, her manager told her that she'd be considered for a promotion if she went to it.
Okay, then that's
You
where
ain't
it
had a
gets
promotion
hairy.
in 3 years at a fast food restaurant with high turnover? I don't know. That's ridiculous. Panda Express shouldn't do that. I'm still going to eat it. Their orange chicken's pretty daggum good.
Yeah,
But
Oh man,
for sure.
if the fire department said we're going to have a seminar and you got to strip down your underwear and talk about what you're scared
Yeah.
of.
That's our.
We do it on the truck.
We do
but
it
would
once
you
a
do
year.
it at the fire
Yeah,
department?
we do it once a year.
Yeah.
It's mainly just me though. Like they want to make sure that I'm.
You just come out. You wake up and turn the lights on in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
In your
Yeah,
underwear. Dang. But anyway, and it also throws in there because I'm sure this part she only makes $11.35 an hour.
which is pretty good.
Oh man, well,
Not in
where was-
California.
yeah, I was about to say Los Angeles. That's
San
like-
Clarita, it's in LA County. But you've been there 3 years.
I mean, still.
Yeah, that's a long time. I worked at the Jimmy John's in Northport for off and on for 3 years in college.
Yeah, 3 years is long.
It is
I
a
mean,
long time
Yeah.
to be duped into a underwear seminar after 3 years.
Yeah, there ain't no way
Yeah,
somebody's gonna be like, all right, Josh, strip down.
and tell me what you're scared
Yeah,
of.
tell me what you're scared of. I'm
Yeah.
scared of getting naked in front of people.
That's true. But yeah,
I'm not that scared of that.
does that throw you at all from Panda?
No, because that's in California. That ain't.
I never go there.
If they said the one in
What if Zaxby's
Tuscaloosa,
did it?
here's the
It
thing though.
wouldn't affect me.
All right, hold
You
on.
know?
No.
What
Yeah,
if Schmax
that's-
did it?
Well, I mean, think
Wouldn't
about
affect me.
was
Yeah.
it 2-3 years ago
The
at
round, not mug shots. The other one.
Glory Bound?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that
was
wasn't like a
back there.
corporate. That wasn't like a
I was
corporate.
back there. Yeah, but it.
that was just two
That's
men.
just
That
that-
was
yeah.
just two people fooling around.
I said,
People
you
around
don't,
your
fooling
food.
around.
yeah, you don't know how many people do stuff. I mean, after hours at a
Oh.
restaurant.
That-
And you might as well say, I mean, if people don't know what you're talking about, you might want to elaborate on what you're talking about.
There was so it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Had to have been.
Yeah, maybe 2. It wasn't that long. 2
Lana
years.
Yeah.
was a baby when we went for the first time after it.
So
Yeah,
it would have been
2
2 years.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
2 years.
So 2 years ago there's a local establishment called Glory Bound Euros. Got really good food. Two girls were walking home from the bar late at night, and there was a light on inside Glory Bound, and it was just perfectly spotlighting.
The place is
All glass.
Yeah,
All
Yeah.
windows.
It's all
Yeah,
windows.
glass windows everywhere. Behind the bar, there was two men performing a sexual act on each other, which the sexual act was sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just going to town, and she recorded it and then put it online.
And they shut down for a while.
Yeah, it was all over Twitter.
But again, that's just 2 employees. I mean,
Yeah.
you definitely don't want that happening.
But how often do two people not walk by and then videotape at thousands of restaurants
Right.
all over the world? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you remember when Barrett thought that lady spit in his drink at Sonic? But it was just because we'd always go up there, and stay
It's
for
just ice.
hours. And he he said something. He was being like a bad customer.
Yeah.
And then we were like, man, she's gonna spit in your food, spit in your drink. And he opened his drink up when he brought it out, and the ice was at the top, and all the slushy stuff was underneath it, and he thought it was spit, and almost ran up in there.
I vaguely do remember that.
Yeah. I wonder how people do get stuff. I bet.
I'm sure we've all eaten spit.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I bet everybody has had something spit in their drink.
Yeah. I've heard some political commentators that are like popular online, and, people don't like different opinions. So they talk about like, people might hate them for their opinion and stuff. He's like, I've gotten to where if, my steak's not spit on, I send it back, for being too dry at this point, it's like.
Well, that's funny.
That's insane.
But yeah, I just saw that article
Yeah.
about cult practices in the Panda Express and had to talk about it.
Yeah. There's no good segue into this, but
we can try. Hold
I
on.
heard this week. I heard of a guy. His name's Wim Hof.
Mm-hmm.
He holds a bunch of this is just to me like an extreme person.
Mm-hmm.
So the two big things that I saw about him was in 2007, he climbed to Mount Everest base camp with nothing but shorts on.
I've heard about this guy recently.
Nothing but shorts, no shoes.
Is that big a deal? Base camp's at the base.
Base camp's still way up there.
Yeah, I think
It's not like you just walk up to the bottom of the mountain. Base camp is at a certain altitude, and then that's where
Right.
you're going to and from.
It's your base camp.
Yeah, and then in 2011, he ran a full marathon in Africa, drinking no water.
That's stupid.
He says he can do all these things because of breathing exercises.
probably.
Now, Joe Rogan has talked about this Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy that's in Brazil.
Julian?
No, it's not karate. Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
But he's like an older guy who's been doing it forever, and he does yoga and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he has trained he can tap into stuff we can't tap into in your body. There's videos of it.
Yeah.
He can reverse blood flow in his hands and stuff.
Dang.
And make his hands turn white, and then do something and the blood goes back.
Yeah.
And the breathing exercise he does, he can change his body's composition off of breathing exercises. I don't think it's the same guy.
Yeah.
It might be, but
Probably not. I don't think this guy's from Brazil. He's Dutch. This guy's Dutch. They also call him the Iceman. He set Guinness World Records for swimming under ice and prolonged full body contact with ice. Previously held the world record for barefoot half marathon on ice and snow. He attributes these feats to his Wim Hof method, a combination of frequent cold exposure and breathing techniques and meditation, which he just says is, breathing from your belly, having good form, and if you can control your breathing, you can control your mood.
I have no desire to do any. To do any of that.
even to get a record or something for
Yeah,
it. That's
he also there's a spot on Kilimanjaro, the mountain, where if you go past this certain level without oxygen, it's called the death zone. So if you don't have oxygen, it's really hard to breathe. He made it all the way up there, no oxygen, and just kind of hung out for a little while.
It's like those deep sea divers that can free dive into the
100 feet,
depths.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
if you come up, you're dead. You come up too fast or wrong, you'll pass out.
get the bends. Yep.
I think you only get the bends if you're breathing oxygen.
Is it if you're breathing
Because
oxygen?
it bubbles your blood, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which can absolutely kill you.
Yeah. So if you're free diving, I don't think it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But you can
just
pass
black
out from lack of oxygen and the pressure
you can just
changes.
drown.
Or you drown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sink a weight to your waist
Yeah.
without any
man.
oxygen. Huh.
Yeah.
Is his name Wim Hof?
Yeah. Wimhoff. Dutch.
So he's Dutch, which means he's from the Netherlands, which means he's from Holland.
Okay.
You ever thought about that?
Yeah.
They got way too many names that have nothing to do with each other.
Then you got the UK, Great Britain, England.
True.
Scotland.
Well, but the UK is the whole. The UK is
Scotland's
the
in
whole
UK.
thing.
Yeah.
Great Britain.
Great Britain is Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Is England and Northern Ireland.
Maybe
and then
Wales.
maybe Wales. And then England is England.
All the whales?
Without the H in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're Welsh.
Welsh. Yeah,
They're not Welsh. They're Welsh.
Wales.
But the Netherlands, they're the Dutch people, and they're also from Holland. That's
Yeah.
all. That's the same country.
yeah.
but
You
they
know
have
who else is
nothing-
from Holland?
Not Beth Moore.
No, not Beth Moore.
She's from here, and she's in the news.
Yeah.
In what news? Like, where do you find her in the news?
Facebook news.
Okay.
Well, this is. I mean, there's Washington Post, New York Times. It's the major. They're all happy for her, but
Oh,
so,
yeah. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post.
right, and he doesn't let Washington Post talk about Amazon.
Well, of course not.
Well, no, probably, yeah.
But he's not allowed.
Well, have you seen the Elon Musk thing where they wrote something about him? He was like, "Give
It's
my
just-
greetings to your puppet master."
Yeah.
Talking about
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah.
Bezos.
It was about the space stuff, I think.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably.
him and they're both trying to get government contracts for like space travel and all that.
Amazon is.
Yeah. Blue
For
Origin
what?
is the name of theirs.
They need to get back to 2-day shipping instead of 3-day shipping. They need to stay out of space.
Yeah.
You can't get a package in 2 days anymore.
Really?
It's 3-day.
Huh.
That's prime.
Walmart is
Walmart's-
throwing out their 1-day shipping.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, we'll do it.
And they'll do one. It's like for no amount of money. It's just if
Yeah.
you order a box of Kleenexes, they'll get it to you in a day.
It's their new subscription.
They
like
bought a
Walmart
huge like
Plus
Chinese subscription company that like,
I wonder if they just ship it from their store. If that's why they can get it to you in a day. It's
Probably
like,
so.
but somebody brings it to you,
right, they just have somebody
Yeah.
deliver it from your local
Because there's
Walmart.
a billion
That's-
Walmarts.
Yeah.
yeah. And now
I mean, the
Amazon's
biggest-
trying to catch up with all them distribution centers.
I was
They're
about
like,
to
we've
say,
had distribution
all-
centers for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we are is distribution centers.
Every town in America.
Yeah.
If Dollar General started a
they
delivery
get-
company,
Yeah.
you get it
Get it
in
30 minutes.
30 minutes or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Or your money
Especially if you
back.
live out in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. Freaking people in Barry would just be getting
No,
toothpaste
I was
delivered
about to say
them.
the only thing you get is milk and
Chips. They
Yeah.
got all kind of snacks.
Cokes and
They got like meats and stuff in there too.
They got meat and cheese.
Yeah.
It's got
they
government
got
cheese,
meat
but
and cheese or
you can't
Yeah.
buy hamburger meat in there. But you can
You
get
can.
yeah,
You
I
absolutely
guess that's
can.
true, yeah.
Like
The tubes of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the tube, the 1 pound tubes.
Yeah.
You can buy that in there. But I bought it before.
I'm in Dollar General once a week for the
It's
truck.
man, it's such an easy like
Everything in there is
convenient-
at least $1 cheaper than any other store.
yeah. That's
And
we
it's
were,
the same stuff for the most part.
we were driving around last night and Meg needed to pick something up and I said, all right, well, they probably got $1. I don't want to stop at Dollar General. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's probably expired. If they were selling expired
Yeah, they
goods out
wouldn't
the
be a
back, they
business.
wouldn't have.
Yeah.
They'd be out of business.
yeah.
I was like, you just want to go pay more
Yeah,
somewhere
I
else.
say they're a real business. I mean,
Yeah.
And then I said, let's go to Walmart. And
They're
she
a
still
huge
stuck her
business.
nose up at it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, she's a Target gal, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Publix. That's
Target and Publix. And she
Publix
started
is
getting on
high.
Aldi recently.
I'm
I've
tired
never
of
been-
people. I'm
never
tired
been
of
in an
people
Aldi.
fired up about Aldi.
I've never been fired up about a grocery store. Period.
That's true.
So,
Maybe the pig, but
yeah. Piggly Wiggly's a pretty good store.
we've got one by my house. There, it looks like it's going out of business 24/7.
Yeah.
Just empty shelves
They
everywhere.
apparently have
They don't
like good
sweep.
meat. Like
Really?
Yeah.
like their meat's supposedly
And it's pretty
Very
cheap
good.
too.
yeah.
Cheaper than anywhere else.
Yeah, you start getting into cheap meat, and then it's good. Cheap meat ain't good meat.
Hey,
Most
Taco
of the
Bell's
time.
good.
It's dog.
McDonald's is good.
Yeah,
It's cheap.
yeah. Anyway, y'all both know who Beth Moore is, right?
Yeah. Do they?
So I was gonna work our way around
Okay. Well,
as
tell
we're
them about
playing
her.
poker. Beth Moore. Beth Moore is this lady. She's been around forever
Yeah.
in the Christian community, writing books, writing Sunday school curriculums. That's what she got famous for, was writing Sunday school curriculums. And then like as soon as Lifeway became Lifeway, she was like their main curriculum writer.
Writer.
That like in the 80s and 90s propelled her huge.
Yeah.
She left the Southern Baptist Convention and Lifeway.
And Lifeway.
Cut
is
ties
Lifeway
with
still
both
up?
of them.
I didn't know Lifeway was still.
Well, our
We lost
Lifeway,
ours,
our
so I
Lifeway downtown or in Townsend AutoZone now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw them shut down. I just thought they were shutting down everywhere.
We went in there when they were going out of business, and I bought a stack of books for
Really?
nothing. It was, but anyway,
They're probably worth nothing, too. A bunch of just SBC stuff in there. Need to progress past that.
wasn't bad anyway. But so Beth Moore, celebrity Bible teacher, quit Southern Baptist and Lifeway Christian bookstores over evangelical support for Trump. That's the title of the article.
Read it one more time. I was zoned out.
Beth
Were you
Moore.
auto-zoned out?
No.
Beth Moore, celebrity Bible teacher, quit Southern Baptist Convention and Lifeway Christian bookstores over evangelical support for Trump. She's a little late on that.
Yeah, it's over.
That's true.
It's
Yeah,
over.
that's a good point. When was this article written?
2 days ago. She
Yeah.
did it 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's true. It's like he's
She
already
came out and
of
said,
office.
I'm done with all the. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just all the stuff. He's a terrible person. He's not a real Christian. He said that stuff about that girl in that secret interview that is illegal. You can't record somebody without their consent. Anyway, down at the very bottom of the article, which is what we talked about before the podcast started, of why she probably actually did this. While she expected Southern Baptist leaders to be equally outraged, they instead rallied around Mr. Trump. As a result, book sales and tickets to her events plummeted since 2016.
Okay. Because she was getting woke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not phone.
Yeah.
That. Her ministries, Living Proof, that's like her umbrella company, lost more than $1.8 million from 2017 to 2019, compared to running six-figure annual surpluses in each of the past 15 years prior. So she was on her way out.
Yeah. So this is her last Hail Mary attempt
Yeah.
at like being
Maybe some of
culturally
these
relevant.
blue-haired liberals will read my books
Yeah.
if I go full on.
Yeah.
But so
Which is the only way to do it, honestly.
Yeah, go out with a bang.
Yeah.
it's not saying she's going full. She's just leaving the Southern Baptist Convention.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I didn't even know she was a part of. Which
I didn't either.
Was that the only reason is because they were supporting Trump?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Seems silly.
And
I mean, I guess
4
like
years late.
But
Yeah.
like, I mean, okay, like who really cares if you're associated with the Southern Baptist Convention anyway? Like, I don't care. But like, I mean, I'm sure to Southern Baptists that matters to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also just to the point now where like,
Or it's just like, just go on then.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Why you
okay.
got to tell a bunch of people?
Yeah.
If you're going to make a decision to just like do it.
Yeah.
And like, would you do it if there wasn't Twitter that you could announce it?
Yeah.
But I'm to the point now where the people I follow and listen to, I don't want them to get famous. Because
Yeah.
that causes so many daggum problems.
Yeah, because then they can go back and find something that they said
I just
in
mean
2013.
the public human brains aren't wired to be adored by millions of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't set up that way. Celebrity,
It'll just always affect your
gosh,
ministry.
becoming a
and your-
celebrity changes people.
Yeah.
for sure.
However you want to put it, good or bad. I don't know if it does it for the good ever. But
Probably not.
if you put a lot of effort into it, you can at least stay somewhat the same.
Yeah.
Just with more followers. But getting big is bad. It just seems,
Yeah.
from the outside looking in, people that have good intentions that become celebrities end up screwing up a lot of stuff.
Granted, if this podcast went to 1 million subscribers next week, we'd keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And, it's not,
And fight against the change.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
We'd leave the Southern Baptist Convention too.
If they paid me to.
but it's not that it's bad getting big, but I mean, sometimes you can't. I mean, I guess it also depends what you define as big, but
Right.
you can definitely tell where things are just like tailored towards views and towards like followers on social media over actually like, I mean, if we're talking about, we're kind of hinting toward like pastors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually affecting their.
I'm talking about just church, just
Yeah.
Christians who become famous tend to screw that up.
Yeah.
Screw up their.
I mean, everybody does. You ain't got to be a Christian, but
Why would you expect a non-believer to not act like or like somebody who's famous who's not a Christian? I don't expect them to like keep integrity and like moral standing.
Have y'all seen the documentaries on Netflix? I think it's called like The American Gospel. Or
I watched it a long time ago.
Seen it.
It's about that kind of stuff. But it's more of the like
prosperity.
Benny
gospel.
Hinn having an airplane, having like a bunch of private jets, and I watched it a long time ago.
It hints on that though. I mean, it hits on that kind of the celebrity
pastors.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I mean, I've talked to some people where it's really like kind of shifted everything they believe, but to me, I mean, there was nothing very revolutionary.
They made
in it
a
that
second one. Did you watch the second one?
I don't think so.
I haven't watched it either. They made like another one.
Yeah,
that's different but similar.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely talked about like the celebrity pastors and stuff, and I mean, I think the kind of overview of it was the prosperity gospel topic.
Yeah.
Where it's like the name it and claim it and like
God's going to give you everything you want if you give me $5 a month or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's older and different than like what the problems are now.
Yeah, you think that? I mean, I've talked to people more than one person who are like, I mean, this is like, I mean, it's probably 3 or 4 people that have like, you know, I mean, this just opened my eyes to like what I've been taught.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, go to different churches now and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know who, I mean, obviously I agree with that, but I just don't know. Like, were you not aware of that? Like, it was like in the documentary, talked about stuff like where people didn't think they would get sick or something like that. Like if
they still got sick,
if they believed in Jesus, and then they would interview people who were like have a terminal illness and be like, we're still trusting God, and we got months. And I'm just like, who didn't think that you if you followed you wouldn't get sick? And they're like, oh well, I've heard pastors teach that. And I'm like, who are you talking about?
Growing up, my pastor, we had like a guest speaker in town, and
for a revival.
Yeah, for
tent
revival. Yeah, well, it wasn't a tent revival. It's just like we're gonna have church
Was
Monday
it on
through
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yep. Gosh.
Yeah, which is miserable because we did it like 15 times a year.
Right.
So like,
we're always having revivals.
Yeah, revival was
every
always
other week's a
happening.
revival.
Yeah. This is gonna change our city. Didn't.
It doesn't even change the building.
It didn't even change the people in the building.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had this guest speaker in for revival or whatever, and the last night of the revival, the guy who was coming to speak, his daughter was deaf. She had like a hearing aid and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And our pastor went up to her and was like, did this whole like, you're gonna be healed, blah, like putting his hands on her ears, blah blah.
His
blah,
own
blah.
daughter.
No. The speaker's daughter.
Guest speaker's
Yeah, the
daughter.
guest speaker's daughter. And he like took the hearing aid out of her ear, threw it in the trash. Was like, you're healed.
And they're so expensive. Probably.
Yeah. And then after the service, I watched the little girl pick it up and put it back in her ear. Yeah. And I hated that for her because think about, they're going to the same type churches every time they go somewhere. How many times does that happen to that girl?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that would suck.
I've told the story. The church my parents went to after I went off to college, and I came home one week for a break and went to one of these, and it was like a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I watched the people cag these old ladies with the knockdown.
Push them on down.
I watched him put his leg behind her leg and knock her down. And I was already just like, this is ridiculous. But so I can see how.
We had one service where we had a guest speaker, and during praise and worship, the Spirit moved and everybody was like passed out in the Spirit. Every single member in the congregation was passed out in the Spirit. And then the guest speaker walks up after praise and worship and was like, hey, y'all can get up now. And the pastor was like, no, go on. And then he said,
He was trying to talk and get his check.
he's,
Get out of there.
well, no, our lead pastor was like, go on ahead. You got it. We're
Just
out
start
in the
talking
spirit.
while we're in the floor?
Yeah. And then
I'd like to be a fly on the wall.
the
in
guest
that
pastor
church.
goes, if God sent me here with a message, that
Y'all
means
ain't-
y'all need to hear it. Get up. Y'all are faking it.
I like, whoa. I like
Everybody got up.
Yeah, of course they did.
Everybody got up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
And the watered
thank
down
you.
version of that is at big Southern Baptist churches, that last song after everybody had sat down already.
When
When it got real good, people would start trickling up and then everybody be standing up at the end of it.
Yeah.
You was always hoping for one of those on a Sunday morning
We had
in big church.
at another church I worked at.
You worked at a lot of
They
church.
played this. So it was like a graduation service where like these people were graduating from college or high school or whatever. They get up and they like, so what they decided to do was like, oh, we're going to have a special song this week. And it was Miley Cyrus's The Climb. Like, it's the climb.
Yeah.
And there were legitimately people didn't know it wasn't a Christian song standing up like, yes, Jesus, I accept this.
If the words work, I don't.
It was hilarious. Just to see all these people like,
Yeah.
Basically, there's
So that's
needs to
not
be a
what Peyton was
happy,
talking about.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
happy,
I just wanna
happy
talk about
medium
weird stuff in
between
church.
like the.
Yeah.
I mean,
As long as you don't let it take you over. Like when we were talking about Carl Lentz a month ago, and he had like handlers that drive him around everywhere and bring him coffee when he texts them.
yeah.
And like, if you don't, you can like curb some of this egoism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of that too was like some of the stuff about Carl Lentz with like members were coming out and being like, they made me watch their kids when they were at conference or something like that. It's like, okay,
Yeah. That's,
you kept some kids. Stop.
it was
What are you
just
complaining
it was
about?
the one he did like an interview with a reporter at a Starbucks. And like,
Oh, somebody came up and like,
did you tell me this?
no. So I heard somebody say, did you say where somebody brought him in coffee or
They
something?
brought him in coffee. They brought him in a Diet Mountain Dew from the car that they had parked out there. And he had a guy, like a handler, sit at the next table and just sit there. And Carl, like, he answered some of his questions, like, real flippantly. And then, like, he, like, came in with an entourage. And then halfway through the interview, pulls his phone out and texts something. And a guy walks in with a Diet Mountain Dew and, like, puts it down and opens it for him. And then walks back
he's
to the
being
car.
an armor bearer.
But it's just like, it's like that. You had to get through a lot of stuff before that became normal for
Yeah.
you to
Yeah.
do that.
Yep.
And anyway, Beth Moore, she's losing money and she's last ditch effort. Speaking of that,
well, did y'all hear about
John, what do you got?
Steve Harvey? Steve Harvey and his wife got into a fight the other day.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
It was a family feud.
Yeah, I've got it down now.
Yeah.
When you try and throw in one of those jokes, I can tell.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Well,
What is this next thing, Josh?
I want to hear you talk about the Christian nationalism or whatever.
We talked about it on one of these
Yeah.
episodes.
we talked about it
where
recently.
like there
where
are
it's-
legit.
Well, it's basically what she's talking about.
She's against that. Yeah. So
That's what
there
she's
are
getting at.
people that were full on convinced that like Trump is going to usher in Christ,
Yeah.
and that now that he didn't get reelected, it's the end of times,
Yeah.
and that America is God's new Jewish people, like us
Yeah.
as a country.
We're the chosen ones.
We
now.
are the ones he's talking about all the time.
Whenever
and
it
he's
talks
here to
about like the
save.
children of God and all
stuff.
this stuff, like it's us. It's not Jewish people.
A lot of them are QAnon folks.
Yeah.
And you jokingly said your mom's probably one of them.
Yeah, she might be. She's told me stuff before. Like one time she said, I remember when Obama got elected, she was like, Obama's the Antichrist. Like legit said that to me.
Yeah.
And then 8 years later, I was like, so what happened to the
Where
whole?
we at?
Yeah, where
Yeah.
is he? Is he still, or did he pass the torch on to
Yeah.
somebody else? And I'm sure it was like Joe Biden or somebody at that
Yeah.
point. But
I would like to dive into it like personally and like read through
you'd
it.
like to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'd like to join, but
Yeah.
I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole because it once you dabble into QAnon, like
What'd you say? You want to join what?
The
Christian
group.
nationalists.
Oh, you want to join? Okay, yeah.
I'd like to be one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much, I'm sure.
I don't see what the big deal is.
I'd have to get dumber. I think I'd have to throw out a lot of Bible
don't give
reading.
yourself too much credit, but
That's also a thing where again, some of these things, like the prosperity people, which I know they're out there, and I know those people are probably out there, but it's like, are they really like a threat to society?
No.
How many people?
Well, that's like-
how many people?
Yeah.
Are we
Well, they're the
talking
ones
about?
that stormed the Capitol.
well, here
That's the narrative.
here's
Yeah.
They're dangerous now.
another thing. I listened to the podcast Atlanta Monster. I don't know if y'all heard it. It was like
Never heard of it.
back in the 80s, there was like this string of just like black children were being like murdered and like lost and all this other stuff. They couldn't find them. And there were one interesting thing that I saw or heard in the podcast was that a lot of people were saying, it's the KKK. It's this, it's that. And one of the FBI guys who was like assigned to Ku Klux Klan activities and stuff like that, he said it was ridiculous. He said, because all it is, they're just a bunch of dumb rednecks. Like that was his words.
They don't do stuff anymore.
Well, even if they wanted to, like the things that they do, it's like, oh, we've got you. Like
Right.
you're not smart enough.
You're not going to lynch a
formulate
guy
plan
and just go back to work the next day.
Yeah, well, you're not
Anymore.
smart enough to formulate a plan that's going to get you out or that's going to get you off.
Right.
Like you couldn't go into Atlanta and abduct a bunch of children and get away with like they're too
Right.
dumb.
Right. They're too dumb, and like talking about the institutional racism, those guys are going to prison.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
do that anymore.
Yeah.
You can't drag a
Well,
black
even in the
kid down the
80s.
street from your truck and just go back.
Yeah.
And
Even in
everything.
the 80s, you couldn't do that.
And the police are just like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah. Oh, he's a
that's
white
Jim
guy.
Bob
black-
again with his
yeah.
pals.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. You're not going to get off scot free.
No.
Um,
You gonna explain pick a candidate?
yeah.
Okay.
So I have 3 candidates for you. These are all leaders from World War II.
All right.
And based on descriptions about them, like factoids about them, I want you guys to pick which one you would like to be your candidate.
He's gonna try and get us
No,
to pick Hitler.
presidential candidate.
No.
Just leaders.
Just
It's
leaders. He's
No,
gonna
but you want them to be our candidate for what?
leader, world leader.
World leader.
okay.
He's trying to get us to pick Hitler.
Oh, okay.
That's what he's trying to do.
Am I?
Yes. Or
You just ruined the whole thing.
yeah. I just ruined
Dadgummit.
it. Obviously, that's what you're gonna try and do.
We'll read it. Let's
Okay. Candidate 1 drinks 8 to 10 martinis a day, has 2 wives, smokes all day, and seeks advice from astrologists.
That's Winston Churchill.
No, that's FDR.
Is it? FDR was a nutcase.
Was
Worst
removed
president we ever
twice
had.
from office. This is candidate 2. Was removed twice from office. Sleeps till noon. Was into opium in college and drinks a bottle of whiskey a day.
That's Winston Churchill.
That's Winston Churchill. Candidate 3 was a vegetarian, doesn't smoke or drink, never cheated on his wife, and has several war medals.
That's Hitler.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun, guys. Glad we could do that.
Sorry.
Well, we got some would you rathers then.
Yeah,
How
let's
about
finish
that?
it up
We'll
with
end
this.
off with some would you rather.
First off, I have to ask you. This has been bugging me since 2 days ago when we did this. His would you rather
Okay.
was rather you. This is in perpetuity. So for the rest of your life, you either have to announce when you're going to fart.
Like you have to announce
Right.
it out loud, like yell, I have to fart, and then you fart.
Right.
Or pee your pants once a day.
But you can pick when you pee your, like you can
But
get
you
out.
have to have clothes on and it's a full pee.
You could
You
like
get to
when
pick
you get
that?
out of bed, you pee your pants, and then you
Yeah.
can immediately get in the shower.
Obviously, you do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If you get to
Thank
pick,
you. Thank
you
you.
get to pick.
I thought about
That's
this
easy.
in the past 2 days.
He didn't start with you get to pick, but we
Well,
did
but
in
you
there.
still
We did
ended
in
it-
there, and I
okay.
still thought it was ridiculous.
Okay.
You
I
pick-
literally
you have
this
to
week
deal with
we were
pee clothes.
we were
every day.
I was not. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, especially if it's. I mean, do you consider like gym shorts your clothes?
sure.
So I wake up, get out of bed, go stand in the shower and pee myself. Take the clothes off.
Yeah.
Just you can leave them in the floor of the shower.
That is such a hassle.
Compared, you know how much you don't probably don't realize how much you fart.
I've been actively thinking about it for the past 2 days. I was in a small group. We were praying over somebody, and I had
Yeah.
to fart.
I mean, that's
in the middle of them.
Hold it.
Sometimes you can't.
yeah.
you have-
That's not even close.
Hold it. And then I'm just going to tell Anna, hey, I'm fart. I do that anyway.
No, but
Well, not just like, hey, I'm farting to Anna. You're in the middle of church. Pastor Chris is bringing the word, and you're like, I got to fart.
Hold it.
People like, they brought him from the home.
Hold it.
Yeah, but even then, even if it's once a week, you have to do it like out in public in front of.
Strangers,
Yeah.
hold it. Or fart.
Well, I mean, you still have to announce it.
That's fine. It's strangers.
I'm glad you're on my side. That makes me feel better.
That's upsetting.
Because Lee made me feel like a complete idiot for
Well,
that.
now I feel like a complete idiot.
Good.
Or I feel like the only sane person on the planet.
Yeah, I think that's easy.
Okay.
Yeah, bring on these then.
So these are.
I'm
it's
sure
two,
I won't
there's,
be crazy
There's
over
two
here.
of them. There's two of them.
Okay.
One I feel like's relatively easy. $500,000 for a year in jail. Would you take it?
Yes. Cash, no taxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
What
like-
jail? Prison?
That's
Jail.
tempting.
Or TPD
Yeah, prison.
jail?
Sure.
Well, that's
prison.
no. Well, prison's worse.
Prison.
Ooh.
$500,000.
No. $1 million.
500,000 is not that much. Like, that's not.
I don't know. That could buy you almost any house in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
then you just have a house.
Yeah.
Then it's like your life's still the same. You just got a house.
Yeah.
My wife.
Is it immediately or can I wait a couple? Can I go back in time and do it? Like if I was a senior in high school, I'd go to prison for a year.
Right.
I got babies.
no
Right.
I can't
responsibilities.
do that now.
That's, yeah.
Or like wait till my kids go off to college.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Right now?
Yeah.
500,000 is not, because even let's say you buy a boat, you can still buy a house. Now you're out of money.
Or just put it all in savings and can retire whenever you want to.
But
Yeah,
see,
but-
even
Or
then,
not
retire.
savings, like investments.
Am I gonna make it through the year guaranteed,
Yes,
or I could
absolutely.
get shivved?
No, you're gonna make it through the year.
Yeah.
It's like that Locked Up show or whatever, where they're like, they got cameras on you making sure you're not gonna die.
500,000.
A year's not that long.
500,000 is just not enough money.
All right, what's your lowest number then?
2.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say over 2 million. Maybe over one.
Bro, I'm a cheap date.
1.5.
I'll take that. I'll take
Maybe
that half a
one.
meal.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I already know Lee's answer to this one. But would you rather be just an average person in the present? So would you rather be yourself, essentially?
Right.
Or the king of a large country 2,000 years ago?
Myself right now.
If you hold on, if you did it for $1.5 million, you're only making $4,000 a day.
Oh, you're only making $4,000 a
You're
day.
in prison.
lot.
You got
Yeah,
3 meals.
but that's
and a-
1.5.
3 hots and a cot,
500,000.
bud. 3 hots and a cot. How much do you make now per day?
$1,300
How
a
much do you
day.
make now per day?
Yeah,
it ain't that
I
much.
mean, that's
No, but I'm not in prison.
but that's a lot per day.
3 hots and a cot, bro.
But
And soap in the shower and
That's fine.
shivs and fights. I'd work out every day
yeah,
a
sure.
lot, read a lot, get good sleep.
Yeah,
You got crazy people in there yelling and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
My thing is just that 500,000 is not that life changing.
You're
Right.
talking about a year vacation.
If you handed me a $500,000, yeah, don't you start with that. My wife listens to this every week. I would not do it, dear. But yeah, like if you handed me $500,000 cash and just said here, that's pretty life changing.
Right.
But you're in prison for. I'm not doing it. Not
I'd
for
do it.
500,000.
I'd do it. Okay, now the new one.
Yeah.
You're either yourself today or you're the king of a large country 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm right where I sit.
That's what I figured you'd say.
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that.
Of
That's-
course.
you
You know
can't
what I
go
mean?
without AC.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got. You can.
They didn't have a lot of
literally-
medicine 2,000
Yeah,
years
get
ago.
the stomach bug 2,000 years
Yeah.
ago and be dead in a week.
And it's a large country in the jungle. I can't live in the jungle.
Andy, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Being the king of a whole country.
Yeah. They didn't speak English back then.
Well, I mean, I think you'd.
Am
be
I
able to-
groomed as king before, or it's just me right now? Now I'm in charge of a country. They'd probably execute me as fast as possible.
You'd get exiled to some tropical
Yeah.
island somewhere.
Literally, their lifespan was probably to like 40, maybe.
Yeah. The king, maybe 60.
Because you got to think that was like biblical times, essentially.
But
they were living
not
to like
Old
180.
Testament times when people were living to 600 years
Yeah.
It would have
old.
been 2,000 years ago.
No,
No, that's like 5,000 years
2021
ago.
is when Jesus was around.
Yeah.
roughly.
Jesus was 32.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're about halfway there
Yeah.
to when they were that old.
I'd still pick myself as well.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I think-
Yeah, I'm fine.
There's like whenever I was thinking
I
through
wouldn't
it
want to
today.
be the king of a large country now.
So you got to think what we live right now is way better than what a king
A king
has.
in 2,000
I have a
years ago.
car.
Yeah,
And I mean,
yeah.
heating
I was
and
trying
air
to think
and
of
indoor
like
plumbing. And,
what would the pluses be of being a king 2,000 years ago, and there's not a lot.
You're the best thing then,
Yeah,
which is not
but like
as good as me
you'd
now.
have people like feeding you grapes.
It would probably-
Like,
yeah.
I don't care.
I can
it
get
would be
Lana to feed
people-
me grapes
yeah.
if I wanted to.
That's what I'm
people
saying. Is like
waiting on you
I
and
don't
stuff like
care. That would not. I could care less if somebody was like.
I wouldn't want to
bringing
go
me-
back and be important in the 30s.
I would want to be important when they made air conditioning. That would be whenever
thank-
central AC.
You can thank Mr. Carrier for that. He's my hero.
Yeah.
Carrier.
if you could go back in time, I wouldn't want to go that far back.
Do you want to do the one?
Hmm?
The I almost said fart back in time. If you sneeze,
Oh yeah.
you go back 50 years or forward 50 years.
You can't. You
and
can't
it's a
figure
coin
out-
flip every time you sneezed,
It's either forward 50 years or backwards.
or every
50
time
years.
you coughed.
Every time?
Every
Every
time
time
you
you
coughed,
cough.
you'd go somewhere on the planet right now.
No. It was swapped. I think it was coughing.
Coughing and sneezing.
You just never get
every
anything
time you
done.
cough, you go 50 years in the future or 50 years in the past.
Oh yeah, I just
And then
faked. I
every
just
time you
coughed my way through
sneeze-
history.
Every time you sneeze,
Every time you coughed-
you went somewhere else on the planet.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it again.
Cough. Every time you coughed, you go either forward or back 50 years in history.
Every time you
And it's a
cough.
coin flip. You don't get to like pick.
Oh, okay.
Every time you sneeze, you get transported to somewhere else on the planet right now.
Sneeze.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm
He's
a
talking
lunatic.
about-
I must
yeah.
be a dadgum lunatic.
If
I don't know
You-
why you're wanting to go in the past and the future.
Yeah, and it's a coin flip. What if you just kept going
That's what I
backwards
said.
and you never get anything done? You cough multiple times a day. You finally get somewhere 50 years from now, and then you cough again, and then you're gone. So it's not like you're sitting around making long-term investments.
After
And like you go back 50 years, like I'm going to invest in, or not even 50 years. Let's say you ended up in like 1998 or something. And you're like, I'm going to invest in Microsoft and Apple and make all this money. Well, no, you're not, because in a day you're going to cough again and be 50 years
and
somewhere
you think
else.
after all that fake
You're sitting there
coughing
with
too,
Meg and your baby watching TV, and you sneeze, and now you're on a tropical island. As you
which
sit.
is better than being 50 years in the future or 50 years in the
Not if
past.
you get put in
'Cause
the
they
middle
don't
of
even,
Burma.
They don't even. They're not even alive then.
Yeah, but
You're saying
so you're stuck there until you sneeze again. So you can never get home. Is that what you're saying?
Basically,
you could get home,
Wait, but then you can never get home the other thing either. I mean, this is like
you're
saying
pretty much giving up current day like stuff, like family and like a job. You're never getting back either way.
yeah. Because
Okay,
if I
well-
sneezed and I was in Mississippi, forget it.
This
I'm
is-
not
this
going
You
is-
better
back.
hope to God you land in
I'm not
Mississippi
going
and
back.
not the middle of Venezuela in the jungle.
If I
you die.
if I land in the middle of Venezuela, I sneeze again and I'm in Paris.
Yeah, but what if you go back 50 years? You're not right here? What if you're in jail 50 years from now?
Or no, we did change it to where you're in the exact same spot.
Yeah, you're in the exact same spot that you are right
50
now.
years or in the future.
So somebody else lives there. They think you're a home invader.
You
If the
get in a
house was here.
freaking coughing fit all of a sudden, and then you're
you're
in,
all over the place.
yeah.
God forbid you get some lint up your nose, you're going to sneeze into the ocean.
Well, you don't think after all that fake coughing, you're gonna have a tickle in your throat all the time?
I'm just saying.
So so the thing about this one is because it's so random. I mean, it's basically like saying, would you want to be shot in the head or
Your throat cut.
lethal injection?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, they're both just two like kind of painless ways to die.
Yeah, that's why you pick one.
So I mean, not really
I'm sneezing every time.
That's okay.
That's easy.
And
Because
it-
I can always have
And
like
it-
essentials in a backpack, and then I'm somewhere else.
And there's like at least technology where you can.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but even I
I can
mean,
call my wife and be like, "Hey, wire me some money. I'm coming back home."
If you get dropped on the top of Mount Everest, you ain't
Sneeze.
calling your wife.
Sneeze.
yeah, you just sneeze.
Be somewhere else.
You just really start shoving stuff up
I
your
don't
nose.
understand why you're like so against just being somewhere else on the country on the planet, or I'm in ancient times all of a sudden where there is no AC.
You know how many
bud.
times I'd have to cough to get to ancient times?
You getting a coughing
but
fit?
thousands.
What if you got a cold, bro?
It's literally not
you're immune
thousands.
from colds.
First off, we'd all die pretty quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It needs to be adjusted.
Which way would cooler be to die? That's what we're like.
Yeah.
How would you rather die?
In the Bahamas.
Okay.
One, because you'd never be anything. You might as well, wherever you land, just sit on your butt. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to talk to anybody because you're just going to sneeze or cough eventually and be somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you're literally just bouncing
He just cut
around.
through the middle of it. We'd
Yeah.
all die anyway.
Yeah.
Because if you sneeze, the amount of square feet that are uninhabited on the planet,
Yeah, that's true.
you could sneeze 1,000 times and not come within 1,000 miles of
But
somebody.
also, if you cough more than about twice, this is going to be uninhabited.
Maybe not. That's 100 years.
Yeah, but I mean,
This house was built in the 60s.
I could cough once and still be. This would be a garage. I'd be up under a car,
yeah,
like the Wicked Witch of the West.
yeah.
Yeah.
But who? I mean,
But then
most
50
people
years from
cough.
then-
They're going to cough like 5 times. Now you're looking at over 200 years.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean,
I probably
Civil War.
sneeze like once a day.
If you get put out in the Sahara,
Yeah.
you're going to be sneezing like a
That's
fool.
still better than coughing, and I'm just somewhere in the future or past and have nothing.
It doesn't matter. We'd all die anyway.
Yeah. Is there another one?
That was it.
That one. We're not going to talk about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to cut it out.
Yeah.
Got the stimulus bill passed?
Oh, we're getting 1,400.
1,400.
14 and a baby gets you.
Yeah.
14, I think. Holy crap.
Think about people with like 5 kids.
Yeah,
That's
what
what
it's for.
Meg showed me a TikTok the other day, and this like this guy with like 4 or 5 kids. He was like, "Hey, 1,400, y'all want McDonald's?" And they were like, "What?" He's like, "Say, hey, 1,400, y'all want McDonald's?" He's like, "It's the least I can do."
It's the least
Thanks
I
for
can
that
do.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I mean, it's all Monopoly money now.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but I'm gonna take.
Will you
mine.
get 1,400 for the one in the womb?
No,
too?
it's not born
I
yet.
said
man.
we haven't even been getting them for Graham.
They had to be in the tax year.
Well, you're gonna.
They had
You'll
to
get it if when you filed your taxes. They'll ask you.
You'll get this one for Graham, but you wouldn't get the other ones for Graham because you had him. Is he a year old yet?
It's 10 months.
So he wasn't born when you did your taxes in 2020
But when
for
you do,
2019.
Right, but
but if you do your taxes now, it counts for the taxes
Yeah,
now.
But not
I've-
you don't get the old ones.
yeah, I've heard that you can file.
Oh my god.
That
Well,
you
let's
can-
just print money then.
That's what
Well,
they're
that's all-
doing.
Yeah, let's just get a print and press,
Hey, I'm fine with it.
and because this is
I
That's
don't
what-
enjoy
yeah.
it, but I'm cashing that check.
Right, exactly. It's a terrible
Yeah.
idea.
Our,
It's terrible.
Our future.
It's
is-
horrible. Well, maybe not ours.
But
maybe
if
just
you're
our
passing it out-
kids.
Our kids' future is
Yeah.
ruined.
Oh yeah.
I
mean,
thought, hey, I don't think that the government should give out money for college either.
right.
But if they
Do
we're taking advantage of it.
Right. And I mean that's like I don't need the $1,400.
I don't need it, but
I
gosh,
have-
I could use it.
No, I mean that's
We're gonna
what,
pay for our air
But I'm
conditioner.
saying that exactly, but that's it's like I have not like gotten a like we've gotten both stimulus checks they've passed. I hadn't been like, oh, we pay the mortgage
didn't
now
get
this
you
month
through.
or
Yeah.
something.
well, it's not for you.
You either blow it or you put it in your savings account.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
I would say probably half the people who get it.
What did we say last week? The average American is like $250,000 a year. And
Yeah,
then,
that was in some article we read.
and then, but
What do you
their,
mean?
their income, the average income of American is $250,000.
I think American household,
I
Maybe
don't,
not
I
even
don't, I don't
that.
believe that.
It's not. That was.
but it's not.
That's high.
I mean, you average it out, you got a bunch of people at the top making a bunch of money. I don't know.
But there's way more people at the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's look
Let's
look it up.
But I mean, they're saying if you, as a
You-
couple, make under $150,000, then you are able to get this stimulus money.
Yeah, you don't need stimulus. If you're making 150,
I'm gonna cash it though.
Oh yeah. I mean,
well, you're right, but
I'm gonna be sad about it all the way to the bank.
but that's
yeah,
why
I won't complain
mean,
about it all
Yeah.
the way to the bank.
Yeah.
you can't print money, but I'll take it.
This says the median household income. This is from the census.gov.
This is the same thing I got for when we used to do average American.
Was
This is accurate.
68,000. That's the median household is 68,000. So
Yeah,
that's
really.
like
and that's accurate.
and yeah.
What was that thing the other day?
I don't
That
know.
didn't make
what-
no
I say
sense to me.
250. That
yeah.
Oh,
No
that
way.
was a Jeff Bezos Metallica thing. Like
Right.
who donated more
Yeah.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was ridiculous.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we appreciate y'all listening.
We haven't done our in tag with a guest before. I'm self-conscious.
Well, see,
But guys, thank you for letting us into your hearts and minds and your homes and your places of work and
In your butts.